category under the World Athletics series that we have out there. It started way in March in Australia, and I think recently we had a secretary meeting before Keino, and of course that are lined up throughout the season. We have Diamond Leagues that are still coming up, and therefore these athletes, for them, every competition matters.
The only man who's done 80 meters on this field.
Ethan, he has really told. And what is interesting, Craig, to be able to notice is that, for this guy, he's not so much well built, compared to most athletes.
But he's got the precision.
Yes,
he's got the height.
Yeah, he has got the height, he has got the power. It doesn't matter, sometimes, most of the time, we always think that, athletes must, especially those who are doing throwing, they must have big body, well-built, masculine. But, of course, this guy has always done it. And I think, he's a world champion last year. And, he has been doing very, very well for Canada.
He's done a 79.58 in his third attempt. And you can see he's going to consult his coach, who I think he's also watching from our feed there to just confirm the height. And you can see that exchanging niceties there. Mr. Katzberg Ethan from the Canada and here are the results. And you look at the gap, 5 meters between Rubber and Ethan Katzberg. 81.63 is the time, is the distance thrown by Ethan Katzberg of Canada. Hungary's Daniel Rubber on his third attempt, 75, which is a very good one. So quite some distance, 5 meters to cover. Do you feel that something magical can happen in this one?
Well, of course, it happens. Sometimes, you wake up in the morning, and I think, for all of you out there, they have been able to watch and see that most of these athletes, they have been able to throw out. However,
the crestfallen athletes like this man from Egypt.
Yeah, but the most important thing is that, you come to competition, sometimes you feel okay, but when it comes to the time that you are throwing, you may not be able to throw so well. However, give it to every athlete, because they have put a lot of effort for them to be here in Nairobi and being able to bring us the action that we don't see often here in Kenya, especially when it comes to distance above 80 meters in hammer throw. Most of our Kenyan athletes, they are doing around 60. We have a number of athletes that have done above 60 meters, and therefore, for them, they get a little bit of a challenge when it comes to competitions in the future. Remember that, we have the likes of Julius Yako, who decided to train himself on non-traditional events, because in this country we always know that our athletes are always, only running. Hardly do we do very well in field events, but at Keino Classic and the organizers themselves, for them to be able to bring us these athletes, it means a lot, especially for our local athletes.
Ethan Katzberg, of course, is the 2024 Olympic champion in Paris. He had a distance of 84.12. But the most interesting fact about this one is that the all-time longest throw was 86.74, set in 1986. We're talking about 39 years ago.
Yeah, that is very long. It tells you that how difficult it is for any athlete to be able to throw really a very good distance, because when you find a world record that has stood for more than 20 years, almost 30 years actually, I think it should be 1998, which is about 27 years, the world record that had stood for such a long time. 86 now, that is 1955 actually.
That is long time in Stuttgart.
Actually it's in Stuttgart, that 1955.
1955.
Yeah, you can calculate that, and you can be able to get almost 70 years.
No, that one was even accurate because it was so manual.
Well, but of course, it means world record, because that is the distance that is able, because that again, world record cannot be put there unless it is ratified by World Athletics, and it has really stood for a very long time. Of course, the world leader there is Jason Yan, that we put on May 24th, 2025. Kenyan fans already, the beautiful thing that I've been able to watch, and especially in so many other sports, is that most Kenyans, they always want to attend, despite the fact that, Remember, for a very long time in this country, we have had a free entrance, especially to enter here. But of course, this was paid, and so many Kenyans have paid to be able to come. The upcoming event is 400 meters.
Number 2, Nicholas Keino, 25 years, 50.82, the season best with a personal best of 51.20. And Keino. And in lane number 1, Peter Muthoka, 22 years, the young man, 50.54 with a personal best of 52.20, the season best of 52.0. Let's see who beats Wiseman Were, the current champion.
Yeah, and remember in this event, we have won world championships been with Wiseman Were, the way he has been competing. He has been doing very well, and I believe that, if he's going to have a number of competitions there to run, we have a chance as well as Kenya to be able to perform well.
Time to see who between Dupree's Tisang and, of course, Wiseman Were, who's got the kick, who's got the jump, and of course, who's got the speed to see these two. It's the 400 meters hurdles men final.
That is going to be 9 hurdles to go. They've started already, moving quite smoothly. I think already Were is already showing signs that he's already ahead of everybody. Wiseman Were there in lane 6, already making a move.
Karibuni sana. Thank you so much for coming.
Hey, that shirt has seen better days. Mara, it's your faded shirt. Mara, it's your faded roof. Look at our roof from Mabati Rolling Mills. Still as vibrant after all these years. Unlike your shirt.
Yes, MRM steel roofing tiles are made using advanced color coating technology that makes the color last.
The tiles are even wider, so you use less pieces.
Which saved us money. So you mean Mabati Rolling Mills saves you money?
Yeah!
Steal the show with versatile, oriental and elegantile steel roofing tiles. Backed by a genuine warranty only from Mabati Rolling Mills. Visit our dealership or call us today at 0788 202020.
Why are there so many trees here?
Very well. In the past, of course, she has not been really competing so much in the recent past, but of course, it is good to be able to see Mercy Cherono being back here and being able to compete, because she has got to look for position to be able to represent the country during the World Championships in Tokyo. There, already the pace has started for the 5,000. Looks like it's going to be a quick one.
It's going to be fast. It's going to be fast. It's great to see Mercy. I first watched Mercy run the junior race, the junior 6-kilometer race at the World Cross Country Championships in Punta Umbria, in Bydgoszcz, Poland, in 2010. And she's won medals. She's took a break to raise a family, and it's great to have her back. And obviously, she's the senior of this field, and we expect to see her run a very, very inspired race. However, this is going to be tough for her as well, because she's had the younger people, on her heels since she came back. It will be very interesting to note that the 5,000 meters women, the world record is held by Good Absigai of Ethiopia, which stands at 14:00.21, which was set in Eugene 23. Kenya has been, successful in this event. Very, very tough, actually. This is a race which requires a lot of mental resources and incredible speed as well. The first edition of this event at the Olympics was held in Atlanta in 1996, whereby our own Pauline Konga managed to bring us a silver medal. It was a bronze medal. It was absolutely amazing. And you remember that we've also had the very first gold medal to come to Kenya from the women's race 5,000 was from the women's race 5,000 was from Sally Barsosio. That was in Athens in 1997. So we've been successful. Later on, of course, we had Vivian Cheruiyot and many other very successful and amazing runners. It's great to see, this mix here. This is going to be a very, very interesting race. And of course, we will not expect very fast times because of the altitude. But what the fans are assured about today is a very exciting race. We have runners from Uganda. We have a variety of, of course, we have runners from Ethiopia. And it's going to be amazing. The second fastest time in history in this race was posted by Faith Kipyegon, which stands at 14:05:20. That was in Paris in the year 2023. So Kenyans have done very well, and we expect a very fast race here. And we look forward to a very, very amazing, a fantastic race which on the cards right in front of us.
Well, Robert, you said Mercy is the oldest, but remember that, old is gold, and also it brings a lot of experience because, when you are far much older, you know what you are able to do, you know when you are able to make a move. And I think in this race, it could be, and I think I'm looking at a time that it could easily be very fast. And when I see Chepkemei, being able to take the lead, because, Robert, what we have been able to experience today is that some athletes make such a bold decision just to be a pacemaker for everybody. Because remember, 5,000, most of the competitions that these athletes compete, they always have a pacemaker. But for today, there is no pacemaker. It's all about yourself. It's all about the confidence you can be able to build. It's all about the mental preparedness that each of these athletes was able to prepare before they come here. And already, it looks like the pace is improving. Of course, we have got Ethiopians. Remember that, most of the time I've always watched Ethiopians. They like to sit back and just, let somebody else do all the work. And there, Chepkemei is making a bold decision to make sure that, the pace is not going, that is already 73, and 73 per lap is quite fast for this kind of weather that we have. And I think we are going to see fast times.
Fast times, of course, and you look at them, they're still in a single file as they navigate through the last 8 laps of this race. Remember, this is a 5,000 meters. If you're joining us, we're live from the Ulinzi Sports Complex for the 6th edition of the Keino Classic, and it's all happening here. We've witnessed so many personal bests like today, and the weather has really come out well for these athletes. And look at even the way they are responding to this. Beautiful track, of course, the renovations, top class.
It's amazing because this is a newly minted track, a newly minted facility actually, we just attained the WA accreditation, and it's a beautiful place. It's a fantastic track, and I think it's also very fast. Watch out for a girl also called Nyaga. She's from the Mount Kenya region. She's trailblazing for Mount Kenya, and I think she's very, very inspired here today.
Okay, here inside here we have got Kela Ambese from Ethiopia, who is the African Championship bronze medalist in 2024. Of course, we have got Sita Teprui. We have World Under 20 champion silver medalist from Ethiopia as well. That is Sion Abebe. And of course, Mercy Cherono has got a Diamond League World Championship silver medalist. Sarah Chelakat, of course, African Youth Games silver medalist in 3,000. Also competing in this 5,000. What is interesting here is today we have still a big number, just like the same way we experienced when we saw the 10,000. There was a group of athletes that were all there, and Mercy Chepkemei is making a decision to make sure that he's going to stretch so that the kickers, because we have got the likes of Megedu Bitgesa from Ethiopia, who is a very good kicker, because remember that she's coming from 1,500 meters, and any athlete who sometimes runs 1,500 meters, for them, when it comes to speed, they can be able to do very well. But of course, Chepkemei making a decision that she has to push at least, with 7 laps to go, doing the same 72, 73 per lap, which is actually very good and very consistent, because something very interesting and something that is very important for an athlete is to have a consistency on every lap that you are able to go, because in the other case, if you slow a little bit, you tie your legs, and therefore making the pace even can be actually an advantageous to an athlete. And there is an exchange right now in the front. We have...
She drops out.
Actually was a pacemaker. Interesting. That's why I was looking at Chepkeme, the way she was competing, and I was like, it's going to be
fast.
Tough. Yeah, that was fast. But it looks like she was pacing, because the organizers themselves, the organizers themselves, they really want a fast time for today, and Chepkeme has done something fantastic to be able to do about 6 laps in front. And there, Chelagat deciding to take Sarah Chelagat, who is the African Youth Games silver medalist in 3,000 meters, and also she finished 8th at the All African Championships. She has done also a number of half marathons with 67. That's quite very fast for Sarah Chelagat, and therefore, making a decision and pole decision, at least 5-6 laps to go, and being in front and still pushing. Something very interesting to be able to watch here is Sarah Chelagat still being able to push and not even looking back. Of course, she has already given a distance of over 30 meters to the other group that are following, and still pushing.
The gap is actually widening. It's so amazing that she decided to throw down the gauntlets with 6 laps to go, and she seems to be moving further and further away from the rest of the field. And it's interesting what's motivating her here today, not just the win. It seems like she's also up to something more special than just winning this race. What do you think?
Sarah Chelagat, of course, she's Ugandan. And she's done really, really, really well. Of course, holds the national record 14 minutes, 40.88, that was set in 2023. So you look at the form she's in, she's like making a statement right here in Kenya, telling the Kenyans that, I can come home and mop you guys on your floors.
She's telling them, catch me if you can.
Catch me if you can, because she's just decided, okay, let me just have this. And sometimes, as we say, Bungay, like right now, you can decide, let me go. You did it and won gold.
Well, I think, the most important thing is that, especially for any athlete, before you come to the race, you always have a feel in your body that this is the exact time that I'm going to run. Of course, you would look at the time of all the others. And I think for Sarah Chelagat from Uganda, she had already seen the times that all the other athletes have posted, and therefore she had the confidence. And I think she's the one who decided or dictated the pace.
1,000 meters record, which stands as 30 minutes 20.04, which was set last year on May 25th. So she's a very special athlete who's come to Kenya and, of course, ensured that everything that she's done goes according to the script. You look at the distance between her and, of course, Cherop. It's quite a distance. Charity Cherop also